How do solar panels work? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you, and I'm really excited today too because this is the 200th episode of Curious Kids Every Day. I've done an episode of this show every day since June 1st. Isn't that crazy? A lot more people are listening since June 1st, and I want to say thank you to the thousands of families that listen every day to the show. Thank you. Okay, so here's my question for you today. Have you ever seen a roof that had solar panels on it? They're those big rectangle glass-looking things, and they have those lines that run up and down and left and right, making lots of little squares inside them. I went over to a friend's house the other day, and I was surprised to see that they had solar panels on their roof. I got to take a closer look, and those things are so cool. They're so neat. Do you know what solar panels do? It's just crazy. They actually take energy from the sun and use it to help power your house. You know how most houses get their electricity from wires on the street, which comes from the power plant? Well, houses with solar panels on them get some of their electricity from the sun. I would love to get solar panels, but they are still pretty expensive to purchase and have installed on your roof. That's why you don't see as many of them as you would expect, given what a cool idea it is. And solar panels can power more than just homes. They can power calculators, street signs, satellites. So you've probably seen solar panels other places too, not just on roofs. Have you ever wondered how they actually work? I was thinking about this question because I got an email from a curious kid named Ishan. Ishan wondered, how do solar panels change the sun's heat into electricity? Well, let's clear something up first. It's not the heat from the sun that solar panels turn into electricity. Solar panels use the sunlight, not the heat itself. Heat and light are related, but they're not the same thing. Like you couldn't point another hot thing at a solar panel to get power from it. I couldn't start a fire next to a solar panel and use that to heat my house. But I guess I could heat myself with a fire. Sunlight is made of tiny packets of energy called photons. Can you say photons? Now, you can't see individual photons, but when lots of them hit your skin, you feel warm and you see bright light. Solar panels are built to capture those photons. See, inside a solar panel are many small squares called solar cells. Most solar cells are made from a material called silicon. And silicon comes from sand. And it has a special ability. When light hits it, electrons inside the silicon can be set into motion. Each solar cell is built from two very thin layers of silicon pressed together. One layer has extra electrons, and the other layer is missing some electrons. This creates a tiny electric push between the two layers. Because of that push, any electrons that get knocked loose are guided in a specific direction. It creates a bit of a force field with positive and negative charges. So, when sunlight hits the cell, photons knock some electrons loose. Once those electrons are free, the electric push between the layers guides them in one direction instead of letting them move randomly. Electrons love to move. That organized one-direction movement of electrons is called electricity. Think of it like a line of ants, all moving in the same direction. Come on, guys, let's go! Now, here's an important thing to understand about electricity. Let's go back to our ant example. If all those ants keep on moving in one direction, we call that a direct current, DC. But if the ants were to take just one step back and one step forward over and over again in that same straight line, we call that AC, alternating current. The electricity made by solar panels is called direct current, or DC. But most homes use alternating current, or AC. So the electricity has to travel to a box called an inverter. The inverter changes DC electricity into AC electricity so your house can use it. Now, once the electricity is converted, it can power lights, refrigerators, TVs, and chargers, just like electricity from the power company. Isn't that crazy? And if the solar panels make more electricity than the house needs, the extra energy can sometimes be sent back to the power grid or stored in batteries. My friend's house had one of these batteries on the side of the house, so if they ever need extra energy, they have it. Now, you might be wondering, what happens at night or on an especially cloudy day? Do the solar panels still work? Well, solar panels don't work very well without sunlight. So, homes still stay connected to the regular electric grid. That way, you always have power even when the sun is not shining. That's where the battery on the side of my friend's house will come in handy. Solar panels don't move, they don't make noise, and they don't burn fuel. They just sit there quietly, turning sunlight into electricity for as long as the sun keeps shining. Solar energy is considered a renewable energy source. Do you know what a renewable energy source is? That's a source of energy that naturally refills itself and does not run out when you use it. It comes from things in nature that are always being replaced, like sunlight, wind, or moving water. When we use energy from these sources, we are not using them up forever. So, for example, the sun keeps shining even after we use solar energy. If you use the wind to power something, well, the wind is still going to keep blowing. Same thing with rivers. If you use a river to power something, that river is just going to keep flowing. That's different from fuels like coal or oil or gas because there's only so much of it here on Earth. That's what makes solar panels such a neat idea because it's a source of energy that, well, one, it doesn't run out, and two, it doesn't really cost anything, at least once you have the solar panels installed. Maybe one day everything will be powered by solar panels. But right now, we just can't make batteries big enough to power all the things that need power during the night or on cloudy days. What if one day we figured out a way to store a lot of energy in a really tiny place? Or get more energy from the solar panels that we have now? In my lifetime, a lot of technology surrounding solar panels has improved. They're really impressive. Hey, maybe one day you will help invent or upgrade or improve on the solar panels that we use in the future. If you made it this far into the episode and you still think that what I'm talking about is interesting, you might very well be the kind of kid that grows up one day to answer these big questions. Questions like, can we power everything with the sun? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But it's really cool to think about in the meantime. Okay, let's have a quick quiz. What tiny packets of energy come from the sun and hit solar panels? Those are called photons. What material are most solar cells made from? Silicon. And what do we call the moving particles that create electricity? We call those electrons. Let's play true or false. True or false, solar panels use sunlight, not heat, to make electricity. Yep, that's true. True or false, solar panels only work on houses. Nope, that's false. True or false, electricity starts when electrons begin to move. That is true. True or false, solar panels stop working forever when the sun goes down. That's false. They start creating electricity when the sun comes back up. Would you rather power your house with a bicycle that someone has to ride every day, or with a treadmill that someone has to walk on every day? Now, I actually have something called a treadmill desk here in my office. Do you know what a treadmill desk is? It's a desk that has a treadmill underneath it, and I use it to work on the computer sometimes if I have to do some writing, like for Curious Kids Every Day, or editing, or things like that. If I could power my house while I was working, wow, that would be pretty cool. I think I'm going to go with treadmill. All right, let's play a quick round of What Am I? What am I? I store energy for later. I help when the sun is not shining. And if you have a small one of me, I might power one of your toys. What am I? Yep, it's a battery. Well, solar panels are just really smart light catchers. They turn sunlight into moving electrons, and moving electrons into electricity that we can use every day. The next time you see a shiny panel on a roof or in a field, now you know exactly what is happening inside of it. Pretty amazing. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out, so until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And for all the grown-ups listening, please visit CuriousKidsEveryday.com to get a free printable with activity ideas that don't involve screens. Those are the best kinds of adventures to have. That's CuriousKidsEveryday.com. Whew, that was episode 200. See you tomorrow.